Is suburbia the real monster? That's the question. Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I'm Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Eminence Front by Rebecca Rowland. This is a book coming out January 20th, 2026, so a book from next year. From Clash Books, it's a horror novel. I received this art from NetGalley in exchange for a fair review. This is a fantastic cover, by the way. It is so cool. A gripping short horror. Eminence Front is a great seasonal read, if the season we're talking about is the winter, of course. What's it about? When John Stevenson peers out of his window on a Tuesday morning, he sees nothing but clear grey skies hovering among the houses on his staid suburban street. But the next 48 hours will prove to be a waking nightmare from which John and his neighbors cannot escape. As the first flakes fall, the whispering begins. A woman walking her dogs leans to the sidewalk as if something buried beneath speaks to her. As the storm grows in ferocity, each of the residents hear the storm calling. What it says, however, few may survive to repeat. What's kind of funny about this book is that the title is also obviously a song by The Who, which is talking about taking too much snow, aka cocaine. I thought that was hilarious. If that wasn't intentional, it's still very funny. The book has nothing to do with that specifically, unless you consider the theme of dealing with a reckoning. Also, it is a great song if you are young and haven't heard it. I mean, it came out like 3 years before my old ass was even born, so it's not like I was partying to it in my youth, but it's still a really good song. I'm going to play a part of it for you, just the part you might recognize if you don't know the thing. You know this song. It's great. Anyway. One more thing before the review proper, being from Canada. I had to chuckle at the worry about the storm because we get the same thing here when there's like a threat of more than 25 centimeters that, the news is going crazy and everyone's like, oh, the biggest snowmageddon is coming. We currently have 2 feet of snow where I am right now. When I was a kid, there was an ice storm in the northern part of my province and people there had no power for weeks. It was so bad, like 6 weeks. I actually love the snow. If there's nothing like a winter walk in the woods or at night, I took this picture a few days ago in my backyard when it kind of froze overnight. I just love when it like sticks to the trees like that. Anyway, I couldn't live anywhere where there wasn't snow. Anyway, so back to this book. I really enjoyed it. It's a very short horror book. It, like The Storm, is almost more about anticipating the worst when it comes to tone. It's very atmospheric with a great line of dread running through it. It's also not only a multi-POV novel, which I love, but it has excerpts from newspapers and clippings and stuff from like the past, which adds to the kind of cyclical nature of the supernatural aspect. The horror is actually kind of minimal. The stuff we get is really good because it's like body horror and it's gory and like you're like, ugh. But in truth, the characters are almost been more compelling because we see more of them. I would have liked the book to be a little longer actually to get to spend more time with them, to get to know them a bit more. I wasn't entirely sure a lot of the ends that they meet match their stories though. Like with the definition of Eminence Front at the start of the book, there's like a definition in the epigraph. I would have thought their deaths would have had more kind of thematic weight or at least some kind of, as I said before, like a reckoning versus it being, well, kind of random. Now, the ending did have me scratching my head slightly, but I didn't dislike it. Though as a horror lore aficionado, I could have used a bit more probing into like the why. Even one more kind of excerpt piece might have done that for me. I just kind of was like, wait, so why? Maybe that was the point. Yet I was immersed in the novel overall. I really enjoyed it. It moves at a really great clip, and while the characters aren't lovable, they are interesting. The way the novel showed the way people try and hide their flaws or convince themselves they aren't flawed was really interesting too. There's a lot to kind of to be said about that part of the book. I also really loved the alien reference with Jonesy the cat and the reference to a great poem by Robert Frost, which of course I'm going to read because I love reading poems. It's very short, I promise. So here is Desert Places by Robert Frost. Snow falling and night falling fast, oh fast, in a field I looked into going past, and the ground almost covered, smooth in snow, but a few weeds and stubble showing last. The woods around it have it, it is theirs. All animals are smothered in their lairs. I am too absent-spirited to count, the loneliness includes me unawares. And lonely as it is, that loneliness will be more lonely ere it will be less, a blanker whiteness of benighted snow with no expression, nothing to express. They cannot scare me with their empty spaces between stars, on stars where no human race is. I have it in me so much nearer home to scare myself with my own desert places. Such a great poem. In a way, the characters in this book are in their own desert places. They're all lonely in various ways, either due to their personalities, their choices, or denial. Perhaps the real horror of the story is living in what Baudrillard called the simulacrum of the community. Everyone holed up in their little houses, never really getting to know one another. Is suburbia the real monster? That's the question. Anyway, thank you to NetGalley and Clash for the e-arc. I really enjoyed this short, strange book. And again, what an excellent, excellent cover. And I'm gonna play myself out here.